I mean, we're certainly hopeful. We look forward to seeing what these guys can do, and they certainly have a tremendous amount of physical talent, which is stepping block one.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just really excited and interested in seeing what they can do.
Last question.
Yo, 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 yo. That's our guy, Kaleb McGary, just signed a new 2-year extension with our Atlanta Falcons. So Kaleb McGary has been re-signed for 2 years. So what's going on, people? Let's get to talking about that. Our boy, our dog, Kaleb McGary signing yet another contract extension for the Dirty Birds. So let's talk about it. Let's discuss it, man. 2 years, $30 million for Kaleb McGary, who I think is now 30 years old. Yes, he's 30 years old. Came into the league as a first-round pick, of course, by our Atlanta Falcons, number 31 overall. He has played 6 seasons in the NFL thus far. He has been a day one starter, and as we all know, has played his entire career with the Birds, signing a 2-year deal. So that locks him up through, I believe, the 2027 season, if I'm correct in saying that. So, we're going to keep him and Chris Lindstrom on that right side as a tag team, which I'm glad to hear that, because I really do think they're arguably the best duo in the NFL. I said duo, a combination of the two. I think they're arguably the best duo in the NFL. So that's a good thing to keep them, in conjunction. Also, I think it's a good thing, to keep the chemistry of the offensive line together. These last few years, 3, maybe 4 years, our offensive line has ranked fairly high in the NFL when it comes to the offensive line as a unit. So you want to keep that chemistry together as long as you can, especially with us now having a new full-time starting quarterback starting this season, and Michael Penix Jr. So, it's good to just, to keep that chemistry together. And as it has been mentioned numerous times, Mr. McGary will be protecting Penix blind side, I remember when Penix got the starting job late last year, a reporter approached McGary and asked him about that. Hey man, now you're protecting Michael Penix's blind side. What kind of adjustments do you got to make? I remember that look McGary gave me, like, look, man, it's just football. You just go out there and you just play ball. It's just football, dude. And I could, because, I'm big on, body language and stuff. And I picked up on McGary's body language, and he was just like, dude, it's just football. Y'all who watch the sport on the outside looking in, y'all make more about that than us who be, on the field, going to battle. At the end of the day, whether the quarterback is left-handed or right-handed, I gotta kick the man in front of me ass. I gotta kick his ass at the end of the day. Don't matter what side, what hand the quarterback when you used to throw the ball, it's gonna be me and this guy in front of me. And I gotta win this battle. I gotta win this battle at least 8 out of 10 times. So it's just football, bro. It's not that even big. It's not that big of a deal than what y'all making it to be. But yeah, Kaleb McGary, he signed 2 years, $30 million. That now makes him, on a per year average, he's the 13th highest paid right tackle in the NFL today. Per year average. I'm not sure what the guaranteed money is. He signed a $30 million deal, so I'm assuming I'm assuming. I don't know. I haven't seen it as of yet. Y'all may know it. If you do know it, put it in the chat. But I'm assuming the guaranteed money will probably come in around about $20 million on the $30 million deal. So it is a very team-friendly deal for the Falcons. This is a very team-friendly deal. 2 years, $30 million. You know, it's a nice chunk of change for Kaleb. It's a somewhat significant investment for the Falcons. But on a $30 million contract in 2 years, if push comes to shove and things don't work out, you know, if Kaleb doesn't do what we need for him to do in terms of blocking, they can get out that contract fairly easily. Again, 2 years, $30 million. I'm assuming it's about $20 million guaranteed. That's my assumption. But again, that makes Kaleb McGary the 13th highest paid right tackle in the NFL. I feel like this is a very team-friendly deal for Kaleb and the Falcons. I feel like this is a team-friendly deal. And how y'all feeling about it? You know, I know there have been some talk about, you know, is Kaleb McGary really good as a right tackle? You know, I know some people are leaning on the side of he ain't really that good. We need to find another, you know, right tackle for Michael Penix being a left-hand quarterback. And I know some people like me, you know, hey, I'm good with Kaleb McGary. I think he's done a fairly good job these last few years. Now, as I always do admit to y'all, by my own admission, I was a big Kaleb McGary hater probably the first 2 years in Atlanta. He had a unbelievably terrible rookie year. Oh my God, he was so trash as a rookie, man. He was garbage. Really the first 2 years, but that rookie year really stood out to me. He led the NFL in he led the NFL. He led all offensive linemen in the NFL for sacks given up, which I think he gave up about 13 or 14 sacks as a rookie. And again, that led the NFL. And that's a sack. I mean, that's a stat you never want to have as an offensive lineman, but Kaleb had it. Second year, he was slightly better, but still overall trash. Now, I do want to give some credit to former Atlanta Falcons head coach Arthur Smith, because I think he was very instrumental in developing Kaleb, also developing Chris Lindstrom. You know, Chris Lindstrom now is one of the best offensive linemen in the entire league, probably the best guard in the NFL. But I really think that former Falcons head coach Arthur Smith was very instrumental in developing both of those guys. Prior to Arthur Smith coming here, Kaleb McGary was it didn't look like he would be in the league for 3 years. Chris Lindstrom you always saw the potential in Chris Lindstrom, but when Arthur Smith got here, Lindstrom went to a whole nother level. You know, that's when he went from a pretty good young guard to, he's one of the best guards in the entire league. You know, that's when Kaleb McGary went from, he's just garbage, he's just trash, to, hey man, he pretty straight. You know, he get the job done. He get the job done. And Kaleb, without a doubt, one of your best run blocking tackles in the league. And he's pretty solid as a pass blocker. You know, I'm not going to sit here and try to make it seem like he's one of the best pass blocking tackles in the league, because he isn't. But I'm also not going to come on here and cap him down and say he's trash as a pass blocker or he's garbage as a pass blocker, because he isn't. You know, he's solid. I would say he's average, you know, maybe slightly above average as a pass blocker. And that's cool. That's cool. You know, everybody on your offensive line is not going to be a Pro Bowl guy. Everybody on the offensive line is not going to be an all-pro guy. That's not going to happen. You know, some guys are just going to be serviceable. Some, you know, you're going to have one or two studs on the line. But as long as everybody works in conjunction and can get the job done like we have been doing these last few years, we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. And our offensive line they've been doing a stellar job these last few years, and I'm looking forward to continue watching them do a stellar job. But once again, Kaleb McGary signed 2 years, $30 million. Some quick data on Kaleb McGary. Over the last 6 years, Kaleb McGary has been in the top 15 among all NFL tackles in run block win rate at 68.6. Let me read that again to you. Over the last 6 years, Kaleb McGary has been in the top 15 among all NFL tackles and run block win rate at 68.6%. Kicking ass and taking names when it comes to run blocking. Now, McGary, pass blocking. Let's go to pass blocking. In pass blocking, Kaleb McGary was 33rd in the league in 2024 among all tackles. That's left and right tackles. Among all tackles in pass block win rate at 82.9. Let me read that again to you. Kaleb McGary was 33rd in the NFL in 2024 among all tackles in pass block win rate at 82.9. Hey, I'll take either one of those. Top 15 in run blocking over 6 years, I'll take that. Top 33rd, in pass block win rate at 82.9, I'll take that too. I'll take both of those. No, he's a very, 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 very solid player. And that's really, what you want. First round pick. He has become very reliable. I knock on some wood here, and I'm looking forward to hopefully continue to watch Mr. McGary progress. Before we continue on with this, let's hop in the chat real quick. We got cool ass Dre in the building. What's going on with your Grace? Dre says, "Yo, what's up, Toddy? Let's get the Falcons." Hey man, it's almost showtime. We got a game this week, big dog. It's almost showtime, man. It's almost showtime, and I cannot wait. Dre, Georgia, Texas boy in the house. What's happening, man? Says, what's happening, Toddy and the Falcons family? The new era is here. The Atlanta Falcons will rise in 2025 and beyond. Let's get it. Let's get it, man. I think this is gonna be our year to finally get back in the playoffs, Georgia, Texas boy. I think we finally about to, get back into the launching pad and rise up. So. Let's make this thing happen, Dirty Birds. Philip Crawford, what's up, Philip? This King James kicking ass and taking names. And I still hate Freeman for missing that block. So he's banging on Devontae Freeman for the now infamous Super Bowl block as part of the biggest choke job and probably sports history, unfortunately. But hey, they come back and they win another Super Bowl. All will be forgiven. D-Mac in his nows. What's up with you, D-Mac? Says good evening, Tade. Good evening to you also, man. Definitely good evening. Got our guy Demetrius in the house. What's up, Demetrius? What's good, Tade? I'm chilling like a villain, man. This is Monday. Start of a new work week. So, trying to make it do what it do, brother. Trying to make it do what it do. We got Terry Ocean Boy Martin Jr. in the building. This is what it do, Tade. What it do, Terry. Hey, what's happening, man? Appreciate you coming through. I like that profile picture too, man. That old school Atlanta logo, the red red background with the black old school Falcon logo. I do like it. I got John Harris is in the house repping the eye test. What's going on with you, John? Hope everything going good with you, my friend. Y'all make sure to check out John and also Winston on the eye test. They come on every Wednesday, 10 p.m. So be there. B square. That's what we used to say, I think back in the 80s. Because Freeman didn't miss no block. So John has a retort to, I think that was Philip that stated that. So John said he did not miss a block. Demetrius says, by the way, I went to Jesus concert, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. I met Jesus after the show. He's a solid dude. Shout out to the snowman in the house. You know, Jesus came up. I know, in the industry, he rap Atlanta, but Jeezy is a Middle Georgia cat, 478 to the core. This is stomping grounds here in Macon, Georgia. Shout out to the west side of Macon. Shout out to Duncan Block in the house. That's what Jeezy came up at. Right there near Mercer College. Right there near Mercer College. You can actually walk from Duncan Avenue to Mercer College. You hear Jeezy mention Duncan Block in a lot of his songs, but it's right there near Mercer. But yeah, shout out to the snowman. Travis in the building. What's up, 478 in the house? What's up, my 478 brethren, man? Appreciate you coming in. Said, could it be that we as a fans have undervalued Kaleb? That's a great question, bro. Great question. To answer your question, Travis, I think to a certain extent that we have. In my personal belief, I think that Kaleb's first couple years was just so terrible that it was such an eyesore that some of us just did not even pay enough attention to his development and to how he did get better after the first 2 years. The first 2 years were just so bad that just stuck in our mind, and we have left that in our mind, and really not giving him his due credit for how he has improved as a right tackle. In this past year in 2024, when people talk about his play, the first thing they do is they'll mention, oh man, well, you saw what TJ Watt did to him, right? Like, yeah, but that's TJ Watt. You know what I'm saying? TJ Watt do that to pretty much anybody you put in front of TJ Watt. In fact, this is the thing with TJ Watt. I think TJ Watt has been in the NFL now for 9 years. If memory serves me correctly. Through the first 9 years, TJ Watt is the best pass rusher in NFL history based on sack production. Nobody has done it more efficiently than TJ Watt. Lawrence Taylor, Myles Garrett, Reggie White. Reggie White is close. He's close. But TJ Watt has been more effective by a slight margin than any other pass rusher in NFL history. So when people, when you want to hold that one game against Kaleb against TJ Watt, hey man, you're talking about one of the greatest pass rushers in NFL history. TJ Watt do that to anybody. So if that's the only bad game that we can bring up to talk about Kaleb, I'm good with that. It was against TJ Watt, that's TJ Watt. He gonna baptize whoever you put in front of him. I got Millie Mills in the building. What's going on with you, Millie? What's happening with you, man? Appreciate you coming through as usual. Millie Mills says, shout out to Terry F. Got to keep the fat boys here, the big uglies. Got to keep them here, man. You need them. Got to keep your big guys, in front of you to protect our skill positions in the back, such as Penix, Bijan, Tyler Algier, you know what I mean? Let's see. Miss Lisa checking in. Shout out to Lisa in the 404 checking in as usual. Hope you're doing well. Lisa, hope you have a good upcoming week this week as well. John says, bang, McGary needs to get that cement block off in his foot. Yeah, McGary's not really known for, I guess, athleticism. McGary is more of a brawler. He's more of an old school traditional brawler in terms of his, his playing style at right tackle. He really don't have that nimbleness in him, that side to side lateral agility. He's just more of a big brawler, old school barroom fight type cat. Demetrius says, big shout out to the Atlanta Dream for being on the winning streak. They're looking real good. Shout out to the Dream. Shout out to the Atlanta Dream also. Appreciate you letting me know that, Demetrius. I got to be honest, man. I really have not kept up with this year, but I'm glad to know that they are playing very good basketball at this time. Hopefully they keep it up. Also, Terry says, everything Atlanta, Toddy. Everybody in Florida think I'm from Atlanta. Falcon fan, crazy for real. Shout out to Florida also, man. I love going down to Florida. You know, if it's nothing but for a couple days, a few days, a quick vacation, man. You gotta love that Florida sunshine, man. And I'm a person that likes the hot weather. You know, a lot of people think I'm a weirdo, which by my own admission, I am a weirdo. But they think I'm a weirdo because I like hot weather. I love summertime. I love springtime. Like I don't like it now that it's start of August and it was like 65 degrees yesterday evening. You know, I'm sitting here tripping like, what the going on? Like, this ain't the kind of weather we supposed to have in Georgia in the beginning of August. It's 65 degrees, man. I was outside. I had put on a little light sweater, man. It was just like, this blows. This sucks. You know, here we are, the start of August, and it's 65 degrees. Like, please get this little chilly weather out of here and bring my 93, 94, 95, 96 degree weather back. I like the summertime. Summertime is my favorite season, man. I love summer. And spring is close also. I just like the hot weather months, man. Coach in the building. Shout out to you, Coach. Appreciate you coming through. Says football is back. Yes, it is. It's back. I think our preseason game is Friday, Coach. So really, really, really looking forward to that. Cannot wait. It's been kind of a long off season, but hey, we back in business. I see that meme every year where they say this like the last weekend was like this is the last weekend. No, we're gonna have football every weekend going forward until February. So man, I am so happy about that, man. I'm so happy about that. Terry says we got a game this week, Bird, and yes, we do. We do. Yeah, I got you. I know exactly what you meant, Terry. Says his brother JJ got a case, number 99. Yeah, both of them boys are bad, man. They both gonna end up in the Hall of Fame. John Kemp in the house. What's going on with Justin? What's up, Toddy? It's time to ball out 2025. Let's get it, man. Let's get it. Let's win at least 10 games this year, man. At least 10 games this year. Lisa says Eastern Stick is on deck for the first preseason game. Yes, he is. And we're going to actually talk about that also. Whether or not Kirk Cousins will play any at all in the preseason. So we'll talk about that in just a moment as well. Coaches, they're really counting us out. But on another note, Walker seems to be doing well. But the start of the draft seems to be Pierce, which is who they wanted anyway. Yeah, I know Jalen Walker was nursing, I won't say an injury, but I think he was like hampered or hurt. So I know he missed some days of practice in camp. You mentioned James Pierce. I've heard a lot of good things coming out of camp about James Pierce. I looked on his Instagram and watched some of his training. Some of his calisthenics exercises that he was doing, and he was like jumping on this mat with one leg, and it's insane agility for a person that size, man. I was impressed by that. I'm like, man, this cat got incredible agility. Somebody this size are not supposed to be doing stuff like this. This is supposed to be somebody that's 5'7", 5'8", 5'9" in height, who weighs 160, 170 pounds. But this dude is just bouncing mat to mat. I'm sure y'all seen it. You know, I'm sure y'all follow, the players on Instagram just like I do. So, hey, I'm looking forward to see what these rookies can do for us, man. It's been a long time coming. Coach said, I know it seems like every time the Falcons give someone the bag, they fall off like a bad bag. Oh, I hope not. I definitely hope not. His tag team partner Chris Lindstrom got paid. Was it last year or the year before last? And he's still playing, real good football. So I think Kaleb will be just fine. I think he'll be just fine. He's only 30 years old right now, so he still has a lot of football ahead of him. So I think he'll be cool, especially playing alongside Chris Lindstrom. That'll help him out a good deal also. Terry says it's hot even when it ain't hot in Florida. Yeah. That's why I love Florida, man. I love, and then Florida got beaches too. You know what I mean? That's another thing. You got beaches in Florida, man. So I need to get back down to Florida, man. Maybe I can make it before the summertime is over. But then again, it is Florida, so you can go in Florida in November and December and it still be, hot down there. Coach says they in Vegas really have us 7.5 games. The disrespect is wild. Yeah, I saw that. I think I saw some Vegas spots had us 7.5, like you said. I think PFF had us about 8.5. So really, everybody's still saying we're gonna have another losing season, and it's cool. It's ultimately cool. The Falcons after so many consecutive losing seasons, they're really at a point where they're gonna have to prove themselves. They're gonna have to prove, like, hey, we can be a good team for 17 games, and we can be a consistent team, and and once you do that, then the betting spots and everybody else, they'll start putting more stock in Atlanta. But until Atlanta can show themselves and show the world, like, look, y'all can count on us, then ain't nobody gonna really put a lot of faith in us besides our own fan base. Demetri says it's still crazy to think we got 2 pass rushers in the first round, so I'm pumped for the regular season. Me too, man. Me too. I'm looking forward to both of these guys, man. I really wanted Jalen Walker when we got him. I knew James Pierce Jr. was a dog, but to be honest, I wasn't sure that Atlanta would draft somebody like Pierce. He had some, things going on in the background, but they took it, took a chance on him, and I'm really hoping that it pays off tenfold for the Falcons, and he just becomes one of the best pass rushers ever put on the red and black, because we really do need it. We need this defense to start being good, because it's been a while since we've had a consistently good defense. It's been a long time. Go to Texas Boy said, yep, and placed my bet on that 7.5, and I picked James Pierce Jr. as defensive player of the year. I think those are both great bets, man. I feel good on both of them bets. Those are both great bets. Terry says, can't call 7.5 disrespect when we went 7-10 3 years straight. Last year started 6-3, went 8-9. Predictions can be viewed as a floor prediction and a ceiling prediction. The floor is 7.5. The ceiling is 10. That's a great comment, Terry. And that's kind of mirroring what I was just saying. Like, Atlanta really has to prove themselves to Vegas, to the odds makers, to everybody. You got to come out there and you just got to do the work, Falcons. Hey, it's up to y'all. If we want to get more respect, across the board, across the ceiling, we got to go out here and win. That's the only way it's going to happen. We hadn't had a win season, unfortunately, since 2017. But let's see, y'all. Getting back to Kaleb McGary once again, 2-year deal, $30 million total. So let's see how that works for the Falcons, that we do got him locked up. And again, I keep admitting this. I was one of Kaleb McGary's biggest haters, but once with me, because like for me, it's never personal. Once you start playing good football, I'm gonna be one of your biggest supporters and your biggest defenders. Now I be finding myself being one of Kaleb McGary's biggest defenders, and I was once one of his biggest haters. But ultimately, for me, once you start, producing for the team and you become a valuable asset, hey man, I'm gonna hold you down out here in these debates. I'm gonna hold you down, and I find myself, defending Kaleb McGary more than I like, and that goes back to what I think Travis said. As fans, maybe we do undervalue him, and I think ultimately, we probably do undervalue him. Because these last, few years, once Arthur Smith, started developing that offensive line, Kaleb McGary been pretty straight. He's never made a whole lot of money, from an NFL perspective. But hey, he's given us some pretty fairly steady football. Last year in 2024, he only gave up 7. He only allowed 6 sacks all season, and he only had 3 penalties all season. You know what? I could take that, guys. I could take that from a right tackle. I could take that. And in 2023, he only allowed 4 sacks all season. So that's pretty much every 4 games he would give up a sack in 2024. I'm sorry, that's in 2023. Pardon me. Guys, I can live with that, y'all. And I know he's a damn good run blocker too. I can live with that. And again, he only had 3 penalties in 2023 also. Now 2022, he had a little more penalties. He had 5 penalties. But again, he only surrendered 6 sacks in 2022. You know, so hey man, these last 3 years, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Compared to like when he first came in the league as a rookie, he led the NFL in sacks surrendered. He gave up 15 sacks. You know, so he essentially as a rookie gave up 1 sack per game. And that's when I was one of his biggest haters. Oh my God. As a player, like it's never personal, but I could not stand him in his rookie year. Again, it's never personal, but I couldn't stand that dude. I thought we made one of the biggest mistakes ever. His rookie year, man. When we signed him, I'm like, man, this guy, he's not an NFL tackle. He's gonna get the quarterback killed. You got to get this guy out the game. You got to get him out the game. But let's we started off looking at some film. Well, not looking at some film, but looking at an interview from Kaleb McGary. So y'all, let's take a little bit of time and watch this interview that was done by CBS Sports. This video shown courtesy of CBS Sports, so shout out to them. This was done today after Kaleb McGary signed his contract extension.
Brian McFadden coming to you from Atlanta Falcons training camp. Now I'm being joined by outstanding right tackle, former first-round pick, newly paid, even though you got paid a few years ago, right? But you're still newly paid. No other than the great Kaleb McGary, man. Thank you for joining me, Kaleb, man. 7th year in the National Football League. We're talking about this off camera, man. It comes and it goes, right? Where are you at this stage in your career in terms of getting ready for another season, trying to put forth your best effort for your offense to be at its best?
It does. It goes quick and slow all at the same time, I'm just trying to, I guess, similar to any other year, build reliability and consistency and, try to be as much of a dependable player as I can.
Reliability, consistency, and be as much of a dependable player as I can. That's what you want from your lineman. Reliability, consistency, and dependability. Those 3 components. That's exactly what you want from your offensive lineman.
When you look at this offense, of course, this is a different scenario than it was for you and the entire offense a year ago. You have a new quarterback under the helm. We got a chance to see Mike take over at the end of the season. But how excited are you about what he could do within this offense, knowing that this is his job now?
I mean, I'm as excited as everybody else. Mike's a great guy and a great player, and we're all just really excited to see what he can do, and we're sure it's going to be good, and just going to take things as they come.
Yeah, and also
there go Kaleb again. Hey man, just take things as they come. Hey, it is what it is. Great guy, great player. I got some confidence in him. Just take things how they come. I'm Kaleb seems like the type where he don't get too far up and he don't get too far down. He just stay right there in the middle, regardless of the circumstances. He gonna just stay right there in the middle, and I can dig that about him.
So another outstanding player in your offense, Bijan. The correct way to say his name. For some reason, we all were saying the wrong thing. Apologies, but Bijan Robinson.
Bijan. He let everybody know, like, y'all been mispronouncing my name. It done kind of stuck in my head to say Bijan now, but it's Bijan, I guess. So maybe we gotta recalibrate our minds to start pronouncing Bijan's name correctly. It's probably never gonna stick with me. I'm still in my mind wanted to say Bijan because that's what I'm used to saying.
When you look at his skill set, and I said this earlier today, quietly, he had over 1,400 yards. Quietly, 14 rushing touchdowns, man. Talk about blocking for a guy like him.
I mean, he's an incredible back. He really is. He's generational. Another upstanding guy, fella you're grateful to have on your team. And I think, honestly, as an O-line, we've been spoiled because we have really two incredible backs in him and Tyler Algier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's...
Yes, him and Tyler Algier. Shout out for, including Tyler Algier in that conversation. Unfortunately, I don't think Tyler will be here next year. I just don't think I think Tyler's going to want to go somewhere where he can start and, become more of a focal point of the offense like he was his rookie season in Atlanta. So I think those are going to be his aspirations, and I think he's going to want a certain type of paycheck that mirrors the fact that he's a starting caliber running back in the NFL, and I don't think the Falcons can offer either one of those two options. So, unfortunately, I really strongly believe, in fact, I'm pretty sold on the fact that this will be Tyler's last season in Atlanta. So hopefully he can leave here after having a great year. He definitely deserves it. I would love to keep him here because you have him on the team with Bijan. That makes you a better team. But, looking at it from a realistic standpoint, I don't see Mr. Algier back here this same time next year. But, hey, we'll see. I could be wrong.
I mean, it's phenomenal. Like, Tyler is an incredible back as well. And, we literally went from having one to having two, and it's been amazing, man. We've been spoiled horribly having him and B back there. It's been wonderful.
And, Caleb, I think it's only right because you look at the duo of backs in Detroit, they came up with a nickname. I think Bijan and Tyler should have a nickname. I really do, because
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, a deserving nickname, because for Detroit they have Sonic and Knuckles, right? which makes sense. Yeah. And I think here in Atlanta, because to your point, two outstanding running backs, we got to come up with a nickname, Falcon fan.
So y'all, do we got a nickname for Tyler and Bijan as of yet? We got to get them a nickname. Because we just normally call them Tyler and Bijan, but they don't have an official nickname here given to them by our fan bases that I'm aware of.
And so I understand you want to rise up week in and week out, but let's rise up and create a nickname for your two backs in Bijan and Tyler. When you look at the defensive side, similarities. When you came out, you and Chris was both first-round offensive linemen. The same kind of situation defensively. You look at drafting Jalen and then trading back up to go get James. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen from both edge rushers so far early on in training camp.
I mean, we're certainly hopeful. We look forward to seeing what these guys can do, and they certainly have a tremendous amount of physical talent, which is, stepping block one. Mm-hmm. And we're just really excited and interested in seeing what they can do.
Last question for you. You've been in the league for a long, long time, as you stated. You've been playing high-level football and playing against some of the best edge rushers God created. If you had to do a top 5 ranking of some of the best rushers you've seen in your career, who would be in that top 5?
Boy.
Yeah.
I think we'll go ahead and stop it right there, y'all. I'll go ahead and give y'all the pass rushers that he named. He named, of course, TJ Watt. He named the Bosa brothers, and he named Khalil Mack. That's kind of his, top guys that he's seen since he's been in the league. But yeah, again, shout out to Kaleb McGary on his new contract, 2 years, $30 million. And that bodes well for Atlanta. Again, we don't pay a whole lot of money, and I feel like we keep our stability and keep the chemistry together, and I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Do we need to get to a point where we start looking at getting another tackle in the draft? Possibly, depending on how Caleb and Jake plays this year. Let's say Caleb and Jake have another year like they've had these last 3 years. Then don't expect the Falcons to go draft a tackle higher in the draft. they'll probably do like they did this year. Save one for the bottom end of the draft. They'll probably get one in the 6th or 7th round or the 5th round. Now, on the flip side, if Kaleb has a down year or Jake Matthews looks like he's getting real long in the tooth, then they might use a second rounder on him, third rounder. They'll get one more on the top end of the draft. But like I said, I've been in a lot of conversations and dialogue, and I've been defending Kaleb McGary a lot. People want to move on from him and replace him in free agency or possibly the draft, but I haven't saw the reason to do it the last few years. Now, his first 2 years in the league, I would have been on that same boat as people saying that it's time to replace him. But as long as you're getting steady play from him, man, and as long as you're not overpaying, that's key. As long as you're getting steady play, you're not overpaying, that's key. You can win with Kaleb McGary. Yeah, you can win with Kaleb McGary. Is he gonna be a Pro Bowler? Probably not. Is he gonna be an All Pro? Don't bet on it. But he's steady and he's dependable, like he just mentioned. So you can win with him. I didn't see any reason to to try to hurry up and move past him as long as he's playing, as long as he's giving us steady play at a very affordable price at tackle. Because I'm gonna tell y'all this, man, it's not easy to find a starting caliber right or left tackle. It's not easy. That's a reason that tackles make good money, man. It's another reason the tackles make the money that they make. In a passing league, that's a very important and critical position, the left or the right tackle. So it's not always just you can say, well, let's just go draft this replacement. Yeah, you can go draft this replacement, but would a replacement be any better? Or would a replacement possibly be worse? The chances are the replacement will be worse, just going on the data, the statistical data, you have the chances are greater that the replacement will be worse than he will be better. Not saying that you can't draft somebody who will be better, but it's no guarantee. And then if you go get a free agent, we just said, free agents are expensive. You go get a free agent tackle, you got to pay for it. And you got to hope you have the same chemistry there that you have now with Kaleb McGary in tow. And you're going to have to pay for it. And great right tackles, they just don't hit the free agent market very often. If you get normally anytime a tackle hits the market like that, their best days are probably behind them. Not saying that's always the case, but a lot of times that do be the case because teams are just typically not going to let just a great tackle walk away in their younger years, and that even leads me going off a little bit off topic to like the Micah Parsons stuff that's going on. That's why you don't really see me talking much about it because I don't feel like he's gonna leave Dallas. I feel like he's gonna resign with Dallas, and I get it, especially from the content game. That makes good content to say, well, can't the Falcons? Well, shouldn't the Falcons trade for Micah Parsons? The Falcons can give up this to get Parsons, and and when that news broke the other day, I was saying to myself, well, okay, here we go. We're gonna have all this stuff involving the Falcons and Micah Parsons. Like it's gonna come from somewhere everywhere. Everybody gonna have insider news and falsified trade scenarios. And at the end of the day, I feel like he's gonna stay in Dallas. I don't feel like he's gonna leave Dallas. How often do you see a guy that young? And this is I'm trying to key this in with the tackle talk with a tackle. But how often do you see a pass rusher that's that young and that good, really, truly, get traded or hit the free agent market? It happens occasionally, but most times than not, those guys, they stay with their teams. Even if the teams have to use some franchise tags or transition tags, there's a lot of things in place where NFL teams can hold on to talent that they drafted, you know. So do I think Micah Parsons will be traded? No. I think he's gonna eventually sign an extension with the Cowboys. This situation reminds me of all the other pass rushers that were linked to the Falcons, or who the Falcons should have traded for. You know, you can start with Max Crosby. Y'all remember before Max signed his new deals, there were all these rumors and reports. Oh, he's unhappy. He wants to be traded. He's gonna ask for a trade. Blah 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 blah. And before you know it, he signs an extension. You know, he signs an extension. Myles Garrett. Oh, he's unhappy with Cleveland. You know, blah blah blah. And Myles Garrett even went to Micah Parsons. Right? He typed up a letter, or had his agent type up a letter. Whoever, they typed up a letter. Hey man, I want y'all to trade me. Much love to the Cleveland Browns and the fans has been real. I'm out of here. I put in my former trade request. Blah 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 blah. Trade me pronto. A few weeks later, breaking news: the the Browns and Myles Garrett have reached an agreement on a brand new 4 or 5 year deal worth a record-breaking blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden, Myles Garrett got a total change of tune. Well, I stayed with the Browns. I love the direction the team is going. And I firmly believe we can bring a Super Bowl to the city of Cleveland. Money. You know, money. Same thing with Micah Parsons. To me, it's like this is kind of like the playbooks that the agents are using when the negotiations are not going like they want them to go. So now Micah Parsons, this in my opinion, Micah Parsons doing the same thing we just seen Myles Garrett do. I think he's going to stay with Dallas. At the end of the day, I don't see Dallas trading him. You know, that's my opinion. Same thing with some people saying TJ Watt was unhappy at Pittsburgh. All these guys just end up re-signing their extensions. And, you know, I feel like this is part of the negotiation process now, where you request a trade formally and then you put it on Instagram or Twitter to try to put pressure on the NFL team. But anyway, I kind of got off topic. But shout out Kaleb McGary. Congratulations on the new contract. There was some also Raheem Morris doubled down on his stance, saying that Michael Penix Jr., being the starting quarterback, will not be playing in the preseason. Will not play this upcoming preseason game. He also said, you know, Kirk Cousins won't be playing in the first preseason game as well. So get ready to see a lot of Easton Stick, and Emory Jones will probably be running the entire game at quarterback. Personally, I don't think you're going to see, well, I'm pretty sure you won't see any of Michael Penix in the preseason. I don't think you'll see any of Kirk Cousins in the preseason either, although Kirk Cousins technically should play because he's technically the second string now. But I still feel like the Falcons don't want to risk him getting injured, because if somebody comes along the season if somebody comes and they offer the right trade for Cousins, they'll ship him out of here, you know, but it got to be the right trade for the Falcons' point of view. And they just want to keep Kirk healthy, you know, for that reason. Also, knock on wood, but hey, something goes wrong with Penix, you want to have a healthy Kirk in there also. So I don't think you should be looking forward to Kirk or Michael Penix really playing at all the preseason. I don't think either player will play one snap this preseason. That's just how, you know, Raheem Morris runs his show. And he told us that last year. So this should be by no surprise at all. So let me get caught up on some of the comments here. Coach says, kind of like that, Lisa. Okay, you talking to Lisa, my bad. Terry says, we got to go out and win. Yes, definitely got to go out there and win. Let's win big this year, man. Let's get some blowouts, man. Let's start putting teams away before the fourth quarter. Don't like the 2016 Falcons used to do. Lisa's hopefully Zach Robinson will properly use that during the season, or he's still with the Falcons. I hope so also. unfortunately, Lisa, I think the dynamic that Bijan brings to the offense, I just feel like it's gonna be tough to bring Bijan out of the game again like it was last year, because he brings such a the dynamics that he brings to play calling is a very resourceful thing to have as an offensive coordinator. When you know you can run with Bijan in the game, or you can pass with Bijan in the game, and Bijan has become a reliable blocking back. I hope I'm wrong, but we might see another situation where Tyler don't get as many touches as we hope he would, but we shall see. We shall see. I hope they find a way to figure it out. I just do understand why they be reluctant to bring Bijan out of the game, because he is so versatile in the offense. Jordan takes the boy said, yes, I look forward to the two running back backfield. I do as well. Terry says, I think Tyler will resign with Atlanta. Based off Super Bowl appearances, we feature two backs. They got to resign him. I hope they can, Terry, but I don't see it, bro. I just don't see it. I feel like Tyler knows, and I feel like Tyler's representation, his agent knows that he's a starting caliber starting caliber running back in the NFL. And I believe that they're going to pursue a team in free agency that's going to allow him to be the starter, and they're going to pay him starter type money. So I personally don't see a way that Tyler Algier comes back here next season. It's funny how history, as they say, history repeats itself. You know, we were getting our Michael Turner karma. As you know, Michael Turner was sent behind LaDainian Tomlinson for all those years, and then when it came up for him to get a new contract, he wanted to go somewhere where he could start, which was Atlanta. And I feel like Tyler Algier will follow that same path. But we shall see. Lisa says, weren't some people calling them Thunder and Lightning? I'm not sure. Maybe they were. I might have missed that, but I'm not sure. I don't know if we had an official nickname for them. But you were probably right. I'm sure some people probably were calling them that. Terry says, ground and pound. Tony, what's going on with you, brother? Hope everything going good with you, man. Happy Monday to you. Lisa's right side of parts still under contract. Jerry Jones will pay him. He's just being a jerk about it. Exactly. Jerry gonna pay him, but Jerry just being Jerry, you know, kind of like, you know, he made Dak jump through all the hoops before he got his money. They'll figure it out. You know, I don't see Micah Parsons going anywhere but with Dallas. Right, Jerry go. Yeah, exactly. Georgia Texas boy. Jerry go through this all season, so that's why, you know, I'm not finna even clickbait y'all with any kind of Micah Parsons trade scenarios with the Falcons, because I don't see him. I don't see him leaving Dallas at all. You know, not at all. Terry says, what about Scary Terry? Terry also says maybe he want to see a healthy dose of the case for the third string practice squad QB. I think that's exactly what we're going to see. So heavy dose of the Stack and Emory showcase for the third quarterback spot. Yeah, I think they're going to just be battling for that emergency QB spot at the end of the day. Raymond Collins, what's going on with you, Raymond? What's up, Toddy? I'm chilling, brother. The running back situation is at the bottom of the list of worries. Cash and smash. I agree. That's way at the bottom of the list of worries. And I wouldn't even call it a worry. I just think that's going to be just football business at the end of the offseason as far as Tyler Algier goes. Georgia Texas boys, to be honest, I'm not worried about the offense. I'm not either, to be totally honest. The defense, we'll see what happens. we'll see. And my only thing with the defense, I just feel like we're still young at key positions. You know, most of the defensive line, you know, a lot of those guys are young. The pass rushers, the two first rounders we just took, very young. Those guys are rookies. We got some rookies in the defensive backfield also. And y'all know how it is with rookies, man. You want them to come out and dominate, but it very, very rarely happens. You know, they have to crawl before they walk. But y'all, that's all everything that I got for y'all, man. It's almost an hour, so I think that's a perfect opportune time for me to check out this camp. Again, Kaleb McGary signs a 2-year, $30 million deal extension with the Atlanta Falcons. He should be here until the 2027 season. Got a game. I think our preseason game is this Friday, I believe. So, you know, we're going to keep our ear to the Atlanta Falcons streets. If anything else pops off or any news happens, if we happen to trade for Micah Parsons, we'll be back. But until then, peace out, man. Y'all have a beautiful week. I'm gone.